The Detroit Pistons have traded for Monte Morris, and even though it's with an E, and I think what we need to talk about is what are we getting in this dude? And a lot of people may see it as, Monte Morris being this guy from Washington, right? Who played on a bad team, put up okay numbers. If you're a fantasy basketball nerd, you know he's a guy who's going to fill some of the stat sheets for you. He's going to get you some threes. He's going to get you some good field goal percentage for a guard. He's going to get you moderate points and assists. So, it's like one of those things where it's like, what do we need to know about this guy? Well, a couple of things is he's from Michigan. He was born in Grand Rapids, and he's a winner. He's not he played in Washington last year. Yes, he did, which is kind of great because it allowed him to get starter minutes. He started 61 games for the Wizards last year. But the year before that is what I really want to look at. And I want to look at the rise of Monte Morris. So he started with the Denver Nuggets. He was 22 years old, the 17-18 NBA season, and he did not play. He showed up in 3 games as a rookie. Then the next year, he played every single game. All right? He played every single game. So I just want that to be kind of known. It was 24 minutes a game, and that's what he did the rest of his career. He played 22 and 25, and then in 21-22 for a Nuggets team that won 48 games. I believe they went 48 and 34. That was a good team, and they were without their star point guard, Murray. He came in and he started 74 games of the 75 that he played. He played 30 minutes a night for this team. And when you play that much with Jokic, you can't help but get better seeing the floor, reading the defense, and all those kinds of things. So here's some of the standout things that you're going to get from him. He can give you limited scoring. He's averaged 10.5 points for his career, and that's about right. He's not going to go out, get his own very often. That's not what he's going to do, but he's going to hit open shots. He's a consistent shooter, and he's just honestly a consistent player. He's kind of exactly what you like to have off the bench. He's kind of exactly what you like to have off the bench. So here's the things that he does well. First thing is he shoots free throws at a very high clip. He shoots at 83% for his career. The last 2 years, he was at 87% and 83%. He can shoot free throws at a high clip. He also shoots 3-pointers at a high clip. On his career, he's a 39.2% 3-point shooter. His high mark coming in his second year in the league, where he was at 41% from 3, 41.4%. And even his last year in Denver, when he was a full-time starter, he shot 39.5% from 3-point land. So he's very good at that. He also is a guy that can absolutely run an offense. He averaged 5.3 assists last year for the Wizards. He ran that offense. That was the first time he was able to kind of have the ball in his hand and have a higher usage rate, because we all know that Jokic is getting that he's going to be doing it. All right. Here's the other thing that Monte Morris excels at: field goal percentage. He's a guard. He's a 6'2" guard that averages 48% from the field. That's really good. And the reason he does that, for a guy who plays last year, he played over 28 minutes a game, something like that. It was 27 minutes a game. He only took 8 shots a game. Because he took the good shots. So he has a good field goal percentage because he takes smart shots. In fact, he hasn't been below 48% for the last 3 years. It is really impressive. So here's the thing about Monte Morris. And here's what is interesting to me. When we made the trade, it made no sense to me. It made no sense to me, but you're going to see a video coming out later talking about expiring contracts and all the money that's going to be coming to us next year in free agency. It's a ridiculous amount, everybody. It is a ridiculous amount. And I think Monte Morris is one of the guys that fits in there. This is a team that is on tryout it's a year-long tryout for every player. You're going to hear this as a theme for me over the next few months and throughout the year, that the Pistons are on tryout right now, and we need to be alert. Is this going to be our backup point guard of the future? Um, if Sasser can't come in and run an offense, this is the guy who can absolutely do it. This is a better version of Corey Joseph. This is a better version of whatever backup guard we've had, Magruder, whatever. This is a guy who's 27 years old, who can still play at a high level in the NBA. He has been a starter. He has been a starting point guard on a really good team and a really bad team each of the last 2 years. He's not suited to be your starting point guard, but I think he can be a starting point guard if you have a ton of talent around him. But he is suited to be a backup point guard, and your team will not fall off when he is in the game. This kind of reminds me of the DJ Augustine years for the Detroit Pistons. You know, he'd come in and you're like, this is fine. Come in off the bench for Reggie Jackson. You're fine with that because Reggie was weird and had such a weird play style that you either hated him or loved him. But DJ came in and you're like, all right, I know what you're going to get from him. We've had a lot of, questionable backup point guards over the years in Detroit. And I think Monte Morris absolutely can set the stage if Sasser's not ready to play right away. If they don't want Ivy to have as much point guard duties, if they want Cade to be able to play off the ball more along with Ivy, absolutely Monte Morris can come in and play. I don't necessarily understand the log jam at guard. You've got Cade, you got Ivy, you have Sasser, those are the young guys. You have Burks, you have Monte Morris, those are the vets, and then you have what I believe is the odd man out over here in Killian Hayes. So, like, I don't know where 6 guards play. I understand getting minutes for 4 guards, and I think that Cade can play a little bit of the 3. And I'm wondering if the wing help is going to come more in the fashion of Cade and Asar are going to play more time at the 3, and then you essentially can have 3 point guards on the floor at the same time, or at least playmakers. Monte Morris has proven that he can play as the lead ball handler. He has proven that he can play as a secondary ball handler and shot creator. Great. He's done it all, because when he was in Denver, he wasn't the first, the second, or the third option. And when he was in Washington, he was up there a little bit more, and his job was to facilitate. And that's exactly what he did. He's not going to be flashy. He's not going to do anything remarkable. Defensively, he'll be a decent team defender. But again, defensively, he's not going to be like ridiculous. He's just going to get the job done, and he's going to be reliable. That's exactly what he's been his entire career, is reliable. Not going to get too high, not going to get too low. You just know what you're going to get from him. And I think we need more people like that for the Pistons. So I get it. I don't know how much he's going to contribute this year, how much he isn't, but kind of excited to see what it is. And he's a guy that I'm not going to be like, seriously, he's playing when he comes in off the bench. That won't be one of them. He won't be one of them. And there's players who I'm talking about for the Pistons, where you have young guys and you have these vets that are coming and you're like, him? Seriously, him? Because I think Monte Morris can continue to be a good guard for the next 4 to 5 years if we wanted him to be. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment below. See you on the next one.